Okay, this is going to be the upper body series of dynamic stretches for the shoulder complex. And I'm going to do them all in one video instead of separating them out because you'll pretty much always do them as a sequence. I typically use a 1-inch jump stretch band anchored up to a high point. So it's hard to see right now. Don't have enough room in the video, but my band is just looped around and anchored to the top of my squat rack. So for this, what you want to do is just put that band on the back side of the wrist and then grab onto it. You're totally in control of how much tension you have in this band. So however far you step back from the anchor point is how much tension you're going to have in that band. Entirely subjective, entirely up to you. You definitely want to have a pretty strong stretch, but as you're getting used to it, you can start out a little bit lighter and then intensify as you feel more confident with the movement. And just remembering that some of the main points, some of the reasons why you would want to add this type of dynamic stretching into what you do. One, it can be wonderful for helping rehab shoulder area injuries or maybe even just a tweak of some sort. It really helps get some extra blood flow through the joint and all of the surrounding structures. So that's going to help bring in freshly oxygenated blood and help carry away waste products. Also, it's just a wonderful way to open up a really tight area. If you are seated a lot for work, especially if you're on a computer, this area is going to be really tight and it's really helpful to open it up. And just traditional stretching usually is not as effective as using resistance-based stretching for that. Also, really great to do either as part of your warm-up before you are working out, especially if you're lifting and you're challenging that area more. Also at the end of a workout, you don't have to do it both ways, you'll kind of learn what's best for you, but at the end of the workout it's going to start facilitating the recovery process again by pumping that fresh blood through there and pumping waste products out. So a lot of great reasons to incorporate this into what you do, either on a regular basis or periodically. So again, just sort of learning how you respond to it and how often you want to incorporate it. So again, grabbing that band, putting it on the back side of the wrist, grabbing onto it. And again, you can use a thicker or a lighter band depending on how much resistance you need. So one thing to remember with the band is it's a work and a stretch. So you want to work with the resistance, not against it. You're not fighting it. You're not trying to muscle it. So it's a little bit of a different approach. You want to think of that band as an extension of your arm. So right now, I want to give into that stretch. So I'm not fighting it. I'm not holding it. I'm giving into that stretch and letting that band sort of traction open up the shoulder joint, just pulling it out gently. Nice deep breath, relaxing. Okay, I'm now going to work on isolating this area. So I want to pull that shoulder straight back and then release and give into that stretch. So this is the work, this is the stretch. Okay, note the difference. I'm not muscling it. I'm not ever bending my elbow. I'm learning to isolate in all the movements coming from that shoulder. So I'm going to pull that shoulder straight back, activating these muscles, give into it, let it stretch. Work, relax and stretch. Work, relax and give into that stretch. Okay, maybe 10 times, totally up to you, but I usually do about 10. Okay, then I'm going to face my arm. I'm now going to be stretching a little bit more through the side of the neck, around the back of the shoulder. Okay, so stepping a little bit out to the side, leaning into it, drop that shoulder down away from the ear. And again, the same thing, you're going to pull back and then release into that stretch. Pull back right at the shoulder joint, release into the stretch. Okay, if you notice that you're bending that elbow and muscling it, this is just going to take some practice of learning to isolate an area and sort of override maybe pre-programmed ways of moving. Okay, so drop that shoulder, lean into it, pull, release, get that stretch. Okay, drop the shoulder, pull, stretch. Okay, after about 10 of those, you're now going to turn away from your arm, face the other direction. I'm going to switch arms in just a moment so you can see the arm that's being worked. But just to see that again, so we started straight in, we did these, we turned in, we did this version. Now I'm going to unwrap, I'm going to turn away from my arms, so my arm's behind me, getting into a lunge again, leaning into it, coming out of it. Okay, I'm going to switch arms just so you can see that easier. Okay, so I'm in a lunge. I'm now really opening up the front of that shoulder, the pectoral muscles that get very tight, front of the neck. Okay, so dropping that shoulder, relaxing it, lean into it. I can pull that shoulder in if I want, or I can leave it back and just lean into it and get more of a stretch here. Try both. They feel different. I do both. Okay, so this is the work. This is the stretch. So just give into it. Let that chest open up. Let the shoulder open up. Work it. Release and stretch. Okay, lean into it. Work that muscle. Release and stretch. So again, about 10 times, doing both arms. Okay, so that's the upper body, the shoulder series with the band.